Hey, it's Chip Collins with Collins Group Realty, talking today about the old dilemma in real estate, the chicken and the egg. Basically, the concept that you are gearing up to sell a property and then buy a property. So which one should you do first? Should you find your buyer first and then go about searching for a property, or should you find the property you want to move into and then set about trying to find a buyer? So you basically have two different scenarios. Do you buy first and then sell second, or do you sell first and then buy second? So I just want to review some of the strategies that we're seeing in both of those scenarios that are working today, noting that right now we're finding ourselves in a pretty tight inventory marketplace. So there's a couple of interesting tactics that we're considering recommending to people. Let's consider the buy first and sell second scenario. You go into a situation where you're buying your property and you may want to have the confidence that you can sell your property in order to be able to close on your current home before you close on your next home. In order to do that, you basically need to ask the seller of the home you're going to buy for a sale contingency. Basically, you write a contract that says it's contingent on me selling my existing home within a certain period of time. Not all sellers love that, so you need to work on a strategy that might have to do with earnest money deposit and other terms that might make it attractive to a seller. The other scenario is maybe you look at some interim bridge financing. Interest rates are very affordable right now. They're very compelling. So you might go to a lender and say, hey, what's the opportunity for me to get a short-term loan so I can bridge this financial gap. I can buy the replacement property, and then I can set about selling my property later on. The third scenario that we sometimes look at is a delayed closing. So basically you make an offer on the replacement property or your new home, but you push the closing out, maybe 60, 90, 120 days if the seller is willing. And that gives you the time and hopefully the opportunity to put your current home on the market, find a buyer, and set up the closing dates to coincide so you have a smooth transition. Let's take a look at the other scenario, which is basically to sell first and then buy second. In that situation, we could apply the same concept of a delayed closing where basically you sell first and you tell your buyer, I'm not ready to close for 60, 90, 120 days. At which point, while you're under contract and you found your buyer, you're basically then having the opportunity to go searching for your replacement property, get a contract on it, and then again, align those closing dates so that that works out well. What we're finding also in this situation is that you could sell first, and then instead of having a delayed closing, go ahead and close in a timely fashion and then lease back the property. Maybe you lease it back for 3, 6, 12 months to give you the opportunity to shop. Perhaps you're relocating to a different area to basically shop and look at the options that are available to you on the purchase side. And then interestingly, this last scenario, and the solution is that we're looking at sellers basically saying, I will sell my home to a buyer, but I'm going to employ a purchase contingency. Basically, this means that the seller says to the buyer of their current home, I'll sell you my home and I'll put it under contract, but I need 3 weeks, a month, 2 months in order to be able to secure and put under contract my suitable replacement property. If I can't find my suitable replacement property, I'm not going to sell the home to you. We're seeing that last scenario become a little bit more topical because inventory is tight. So a lot of sellers don't want to be rendered homeless by finding a buyer for their home, which is fairly easy to do in this hot marketplace, and then not having a replacement option. So it's fascinating to understand the moving parts of this. And of course, each deal is unique like a snowflake. You've got different sellers, different buyers, different properties, different marketplaces, different market conditions. And so the fun of that is all kind of weaving it together to make sure you have a smooth transition. It's something that here at Collins Group, we love working on. We love property contract negotiations. We love solving these problems. And of course, we're honored to have the opportunity to bring this information to you today.